In this video we're gonna talk about Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Wait, no. Hemingway! Okay. One of the greatest writers of the 20th century was born in 1899 in the Chicago suburbs. He got his writing style from a Kansas City newspaper where he worked and later named his style the iceberg theory. Use short sentences, use short paragraphs. His writing was minimalistic, focusing on surface elements without revealing the underlying themes. Hemingway believed that, much like an iceberg remaining hidden below the ocean's surface and only showing its tip, most of a story should be hidden as well, leaving just enough room for imagination to wander and fill in the gaps. Okay, that would be his writing style. But did you know what an adventurer he actually was? Did you know that when the US joined the First World War, he wanted to join the Marines, but he was rejected for being nearsighted? What does a man gotta do to serve his country, right? Well, according to Hemingway, you gotta memorize the eye chart and become an Italian ambulance driver. His novels are famous for his masculine, straightforward characters. He himself was eager to get as close to the front lines as possible. He listened to stories from battle, later got injured and basically had a near-death experience, fell in love with a nurse who took care of him and eventually used pretty much all of the above-mentioned experiences in his novel A Farewell to Arms. In the 1920s, he moved to Paris where he fell under the influence of the Lost Generation writers. Then he became a war correspondent in the Spanish Civil War where he met his third wife, Martha Gellhorn. You can watch a movie with Nicole Kidman and Clive Owen. His life was full of adventure, traveling, and broken bones. In 1954, he was almost fatally injured in not one, but two successive plane crashes in Africa. Day 1. A sightseeing flight over the Belgian Congo, which was supposed to be a Christmas gift to his wife Mary, I mean the fourth wife. Boom! Crash landed after striking an abandoned utility pole. Day 2. In search for medical care, they boarded a second plane that exploded before it even managed to take off. Later that year, and I quote, "Despite his injuries, Hemingway accompanied Patrick, his son, and his wife on a planned fishing expedition, unquote, where pain made him impossible to get along with, hang on, when suddenly a bushfire broke out. The full extent of his injuries? Second-degree burns, 2 cracked discs, a kidney and liver rupture, a dislocated shoulder, and a broken skull." The Time magazine actually published an article titled "The 5 Times Ernest Hemingway Cheated Death," which is something he actually did. Apparently it was completely in his own hands. Medical records made available in 1991 confirmed Hemingway had a hemochromatosis, a genetic disorder resulting in excessive accumulation of iron in tissues, leading to mental and physical deterioration. 5 years after his death, his wife Mary confirmed that the famous writer had shot himself. Alright, that's the story of Ernest Hemingway, one of the most famous writers of the 20th century. Let's go for the vocabulary now.
Reveal. When you make something visible or make it a public information, you reveal it. In the video, I used the sentence, "His writing was minimalistic, focusing on surface elements without revealing the underlying themes." Underlying, existing under the surface of something else. It's the same sentence, "His writing was minimalistic, focusing on surface elements without revealing the underlying themes, the not-so-visible themes." Remain. To stay in the same place, to not leave. Hemingway believed that, much like an iceberg remaining hidden below the ocean's surface, most of the story should be hidden as well, leaving just enough room for imagination. Nearsightedness. It's the same as short-sightedness. I used it in a sentence, when the US joined the First World War, he wanted to join the Marines, but he was rejected for being nearsighted. According to, it's the same thing as stated by. Simply put, it means Hemingway said it. According to Hemingway. Masculine. Having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men. To be man-like. To behave like a man. I used it in a sentence when I was talking about his characters. His novels are famous for his masculine, straightforward characters. Eager. Wanting something passionately or desperately. You want something very much and you are eager to get it. In a sentence, he himself was eager to get as close to the front lines as possible. He wanted to get to the front lines very much. Near-death experience, a vision of the afterlife reported by a person who has come close to death. To give you an example, he listened to stories from battle, later got injured and basically had a near-death experience. Next word is successive, happening one after another. Okay, this example is my favorite. He was almost fatally injured in not one, but two successive plane crashes, which means they happened one after another. Day 1, plane crash. Day 2, plane crash. Rupture, to break or tear. Second-degree burns, 2 cracked discs. A kidney and liver rupture. His kidneys and liver were ruptured. To put it simply, damaged. Excessive, too much. Excessive accumulation of iron. He had too much iron in his tissues. Excessive accumulation. And the last word, deterioration. In a sentence, mental and physical deterioration, which means his body and mind got worse and worse because of the excessive accumulation of iron in his tissues. Okay guys, that's it for today. If you like this video, you can support me by considering subscription to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!